Hello, I'm Larissa. Welcome to Goblins of Discord. I am typing Bill Burr, who related to some previous typing. So I'm on a bit of a comedian spree right now for some unknown reason. I think he's like a mashup of like Dave Chappelle and Alex Jones. My Dave Chappelle video is going to be a nightmare to edit because it got blocked. A whole bunch of videos got blocked, or like two videos got blocked. And the audio, like, can someone, can a man who watches my channel please tell me how to fix my audio without having to edit it, where my audio of me speaking equalizes to like whatever I'm recording in Zoom, so I don't have to edit it. Does anybody know how to do that? I can't find it on the internet. And yeah, is there a way to bypass getting blocked? I found a bunch of sketchy videos that will hopefully not be blocked except for like one video, which I'm like rolling the dice on, but it's the Wild West. I'm like an internet pirate out here, baby, doing all of these like vivisections. Anyways, Bill Burr's a comedian. I mean, he looks like a comedian, I guess you could say. Actually, kind of has a Conan O'Brien vibe a little bit. I guess I'm being gingerist, but it's kind of there. I've never tried to type Conan O'Brien, but he seems like a 6'7" or 7'6". I lean 6'5" for Bill Burr, but I might change my mind. I think he's 8'7" fixed, and I think he's three wing. I no, it's very obvious to me actually that he's 3'2" in the heart center. I don't think he's a. Oh my God, is I think that's a joke. I hope that's a joke. Oh, I wish I could erase that from my consciousness. I feel like this is too close to bedtime. I'm gonna have like a nightmare about this creature. Um, yeah, looking at him, he kind of, I don't know, some of the observations I have about how people look typologically, it's like hard for me to like put into words that don't just sound really weird. So I will say like Dave Chappelle, I think like six wing fives have like they kind of look like bats. But apparently he's actually a half brother to Billy Corgan, who when I typed him with Raw, we did type him with six wing five and his type, although I think he's a core three. And he also kind of looks like a bat. So they have like similarities visually because they're related, but I don't know. That's a whole other conversation that I could really go into, but I'd rather have it with like a bunch of people because I really think that there's like an interesting conversation about like how heredity maps with typology, and I think that the more similar you are with your type to another person and your family, the more you might actually look like them. So anyways, this is so off topic. Yeah, he's like a very reactive. I mean, this is sort of like the energy I sort of envision for Bill Burr. I feel like if you I can't, I don't think I've seen like, I think I saw his latest special. I think I got annoyed watching some like group one that he was on because it was just so insufferable. So I didn't watch whatever that was, but I think I've seen his. Yeah, here we go. He's very like social sixy in the sense that he's just like kind of like Dave Chappelle, like always talking about like social issues, tribal stuff. But he, Bill, has more of a chaotic neutral orientation towards it, and he's way more bombastic. So I'm thinking he's like 8'7" in the gut center. So he's kind of got like a little bit of like Joker vibes in there. You know what I mean? Like he's like orientated towards like the social sick shit of like tribes and like doing the right thing, but also what the fuck are those people doing over there? But then he's also got this like 8'7" fuck it all, burn it all to the ground. You're all, or like none of this is, you know what I mean? This is incoherent as per usual. Okay, let's start with like a little bit of comedy. This is old.
Okay, thank you, Jesus Christ. Give out some free tickets, everybody shows up, huh? He's like, this guy fucking rocks, man! Free tickets, I like this guy. All right, well, it's good to be here, man. It's nice to be back in town here in New York. I didn't do shit today. I didn't. I'm a loser, man. I just sat around watching TV and all this type of stuff, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. You know what? I'm sick of pedophiles. Damn. Sex offenders. Dude, they're on every channel. Everybody is doing something on sex offenders. You know, it's like, dude, I got it. There's people out there touching kids, you know? But it's not everybody. It's a very small portion of the population. So, you know, take it down a few, because you're making it fucking awkward out there. Dude, you can't say hi to kids anymore. I love kids. I love kids. I like making faces at them on the airplane, making them laugh. Now parents are like, is that sex offender? They say, how do they let kids in? Making me feel like a freak, you know?
And you can tell just by the way he's sort of like walking around the stage, he's kind of got riz or swagger. Like I think he's got 8 wing 7 kind of swagger where he's kind of cocky, but he's like still got the 6 wing 5 like shriveled bat boy. He's like a swaggy bat boy. And he's like, yeah, and again, it's like social 6 stuff, but I feel like it's like if you've got like 8 and 7 also with 6, it's like you're gonna be antisocial. It's like you're aware of like cancel culture stuff, you're aware of the annoying stuff, and you're really gonna like kind of make a meal out of it. Where it's not like the 6 thing. We all have to get on the same page, which he's doing a little bit, but it's like he's kind of going into like more taboo territories, and I think he does kind of do this where he's kind of more contrarian, and I think that like a 6 with an 8 fix will be more contrarian than like a 6 with a 9 fix. Like a 6 with a 9 fix is going to be more like low key about their contrarianism, where they're just going to be like, I don't want to or something. But like a 6 with like an 8 wing 7 fix is going to be more like, what do I like? Because like 7's more of like a trickster type, and 8 is like the lust type, and it's like reactive, and it's wanting to like, it's like a provocative combination that he's got there. He's got triple head in his type as well, and like so 6 wing 5 plus 8 and 7, so all he's got in his gut center is 8 in my typing of him. And so it's kind of like he's almost got like unhinged head energy, and he's like kind of coming up with like all kinds of worst case scenarios. It's like he's sort of cycling through like they think I'm a sex offender, and like
I'm terrified of kids now. Remember back in the day when a kid would come walking up to you, you could pat him on the head. Hey there, Rusty, how you doing, right? Now a kid comes walking up and like, dude, get that thing the fuck away from me. Get it away from me. Serious, dude, get it away from me. Hands are up high, not aroused, just terrified.
Not aroused.
Serious, get that thing away from me, all right? What are you, the FBI or have to catch a predator guy to...
oh, now Zoom's telling me how to set up professional audio. Ugh, I don't know. I'm so over this shit.
come walking out like, what are you doing here? What are you doing? No, sit down. That show To Catch a Predator, man, that is horrible PR for white people, huh? Jesus Christ. Can they move that show to an urban area every once in a while? Just catch a couple of R. Kelly's peeing on some kids, you know? Just balance it out a little bit. It's like there's every dude walking in that house.
Yeah, and he's more like playing kind of more fast and loose. I mean, I think he's a social self-pres 6. You could argue he's self-pres social 6, and so he's more loose with social. Like he's using it, he's playing with it, but his fixation does tend towards social to me. I don't know, the instincts are what they are, and I'm not the expert. But he's kind of playing fast and loose with social in the sense that he's sort of like not doing the 6-9-3 thing, for example, where it's like there's sort of this like almost manipulation that seems to be happening, where it's like they're trying to get you on the same page with them by sort of massaging you in that direction, or maybe they're employing a little bit of shame or like a little bit of guilt tripping, or like we all see this kind of thing. He's more like playing fast and loose with it, where he's sort of having fun with the social 6 ideas that he's already clearly like locked into.
I was gonna look like me, like, hey, I'm a fucking 8-year-old, where are you?
And also, a lot of people don't want to talk about shit like pedophiles. Like, it is taboo. Like, even though, like it's like it's a huge problem. People do not realize this is like actually like fucked up. like hundreds of thousands of kids get trafficked every year, probably millions at this point, and murdered and everything else. It's like really, really wild. And I think that like a lot of nine fixers like just cannot handle it. Is too much for their system.
No, but it's unbelievable. Everybody is talking about pedophiles and all that type of stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's more of them nowadays. Is it like easier now because of the internet? You know, because back in the day you had to work for it, right? You know, you had to get an ice cream truck, you had to buy some you had to figure out when the kids got out of school. You pick a straggler, you know. Now you just go on the internet. You just Google www.8-year-old whose parents have fallen asleep. You know, you're in there. No, it's unreal.
Yeah, and again, he's like making jokes. He's making light of stuff that like is triggering to social sixes, but I do not think he's a gut type. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. Maybe he's an 8-wing 7. Maybe he's an 8-wing 7. Fuck. I don't want to have to start this over again though. So I'm just gonna play it out and see what happens.
When's the last time you saw a kid riding a bicycle down the street? You're never gonna see that shit again. You never see him playing outside. Parents just have them inside now, man. They just feed them, you know? Just making them fatter and fatter. I'm trying to make them unfuckable. That's what it is. That's why you see all these 40, 50-pound 8-year-olds just come waddling out of the house. You can't get that kid in the car. I'm serious. Pedophiles in general are very skinny people. They gotta start chalking up their forearms and fucking blowing out their back. It's just a theory, people. Seriously.
I mean, he doesn't really seem like a gut type, but it's like you can see all this unhinged, like chaotic head shit that he's doing. And I don't know. Yeah. Unless he's a fucking 7. I don't think so.
Honestly, don't take this shit too seriously. Does he really think that? Does he think that that's why there's... I don't know. I rented that movie, Pride, recently. Have you guys seen that movie? Anybody see that? It's about the first all-black swim team and the difficulties they had to go through being the first all-black swim team. Let me ask you a question. How many of those white people are evil movies are they gonna make? It's like, it's all the way down.
I don't know. It's like I'm trying to like finding it hard to kind of like articulate, I guess. But it's like if you like kind of look at what he's doing, it's like he's it's like he's tapped into his own thought process, and he's like doing the social six thing, but he's like commentating on it almost like a sports podcaster or something. It's like, look at what this guy's doing with his ball. Look at what he's doing. Oh my God. It's like, he's doing this, he's doing that. It's like, there's this sort of like unhinged energy. Actually, I wonder what like Don Cherry is. There's a little bit of a like thinner, more avant-garde Don Cherry energy to Bill Burr. So maybe I'll look at him next too. Just add him to my endless list of comedians that's now forming. It's like he's drawing your attention to the social six stuff, and then he's sort of like, but here's where I'm different. So I feel like this is sort of where he's doing. I have seen 6-wing 7s do this kind of thing before, where they sort of they point out what the other person's doing that's like wrong or bad, to highlight how they're kind of more the expert or something. But he seems to be, he's kind of doing that, but he's kind of just using it for like comedy fuel. So I do think that I think this is 6, but we'll keep watching.
Down to swimming. You know, I'm starting to run out of white guilt, you know? No, it's like those movies. They started off unbelievable. Started off with Roots, right? White guilt was at an all-time high. I could barely even watch it. I'm like, dude, I got it. My ancestors are evil. Okay, please turn the channel, dude. Please turn the channel. They're still hitting them. Fuck, turn the channel. This is gonna be on all week. Jesus Christ, turn the channel.
Yeah, it's like he's it's like he's tapping into the social six concerns and like the grid of like what everybody's thinking, or and he's turning it into like troll fodder kind of, but he is doing it in a way that is nuanced, and I feel like that is points for him being a six, because I don't think like sevens or eights are like capable of doing that the way that he is, where it is like relatable, or obviously not to everybody, but where it is sort of like, oh yeah, I've run out of white guilt. Like I don't know.
Then in the 80s, there was like a football movie. Then like Cuba Gooding wanted to be like a scuba diver. Remember that shit? And now it's all the way down to swimming. And I got
Yeah, and again, he's like doing what Dave Chappelle was just doing, which is like all about like race. It's like about gender. It's about sexuality. It's about da da da. Da. It's like social six topics. And I mean, as a social dom, like I do find them more palatable than this is making me actually wonder if Anthony Jeselnik is self-prosocial, and I whatever, who cares? Okay. But he's expressing how grossed out and over it he is. But this is sort of like his shtick, is that he's over whatever like current culture is doing, and it's not. I think it's him being double reactive and like him having like 8 wing 7 in his type.
Well, the show,
and also 6 wing 5, because like Dave Chappelle too, he's like not afraid to sort of separate himself somewhat from the tribe if he has like a salient point to make, but he's like way more unhinged and like chaotic and bouncing all over the place with it, whereas like Dave Chappelle is sort of taking you through this sort of process with him.
Was so funny. I mean, I'm just, is it based on your real life, or is it, you know?
Yeah, no, it's definitely based on my life.
Oh yeah, he has a cartoon. I've seen it. It's funny, I think. I don't know. I don't remember.
But it's Frank is the character that I play. He's an amalgam of kind of everybody's dad in the writer's room, and he's an old school dad. Like when I was a kid, you were like afraid of your dad. Like he pulled in the driveway, he'd come in the front door, we'd all run out the back door.
Right, wait till your father comes home,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. So it's more of that era.
Yeah, and this is like again like a six thing. Like it's like the family sitcom sort of setup, to me at least, seems like six-ish. Or like you would have 6 high in your type to make a like a family sitcom type thing.
It's not this, era now where your kids are like friends with their dad. I was like afraid of that. Not in a bad way. Like I just knew that, when he came home that
things were gonna fly.
Yes, your behavior. We used to shut the TV off and like pick up books, pretending to be like reading. And I remember he used to like, if he was in church, he had like the loudest snap. And if you guys were talking too loud, he just bam like that, and everybody just shut up, and then you knew you were going to get it later.
You mean get it? It's funny. You get on stage, you talk about topics that are kind of taboo, but you make them really, really funny.
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
yes,
least
and I wanted
episodes.
to talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well,
This guy looks like a federal agent or something. Like, what is this?
the other reason
Look at his pants are like up to his knees.
why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
Yeah, so he's pretty like auto-reflexively confrontational, whereas like a 9 fix will kind of simmer, or like it feels more emotionally charged when they get mad, because it's like there's like emotional tension around it. There's like it's like I'm creating conflict. It's how dare you? Like there's this, well, not maybe that frame, but it's like there's a sort of like I've been working up to this, and like he's just kind of like automatically, who said that? Who said that? What do you mean? Like he's just like straight at her, combative. Not combative, but it's like, yeah, again, it's like not like the 9 combative. It's like just auto-reflexive, like 8, I think, in the gut center.
You need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you feel you were being disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
I don't even know we did maybe 2 jokes about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what?
They just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
I'm not totally following, but I don't think
You
I
know
want
what I'm
to.
talking about? It's a morning show. I understand.
I
came on.
Positive.
That kid
Positive.
missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel-good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this, you know.
And
we were joking earlier. If that kid's story about the graduation was late night, that would have been a whole different story.
What do you think?
He's still missing. We can't find him. All we found was his hat. But you watch in the morning. It's
Yeah, and he's doing reactive type stuff here too, and like double reactive specifically. I think he's like kind of pointing out like the truth of what's really happening here. Like, oh well, you know, basically he's kind of saying like, oh, you tune into this show if you want like the phony, sugar-coated, toxic positivity version of reality. If you want the real shit, you have to tune in at late night. Like he's kind of like presenting himself as kind of gritty and stuff.
It's great. It all worked out. He got his own personal graduation. Like, I was in such a great mood. Look how yellow this couch is. It's like the sun.
Yeah. And I mean, he's saying it with a smile on his face because he's a 6 and he has a 3-wing 2 fix, but you can tell he's like kind of grossed out probably on some level.
It's for family. I mean, it's really politically incorrect before politically incorrect was even a term.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a lot of that stuff. What you were saying earlier, you talk about taboo subjects. It's like nothing I really talk about. It's not that people aren't talking about all of this stuff. It's just that there's sort of a way that people talk when they get on a stage or something like.
Yeah, and like here's another point for just 6 versus like, I don't know, another type like 8 or even 3 is like he doesn't really ever take credit for anything. Like he's just sort of like openly like he's like, you know, we're all kind of thinking the same thing here. I'm just the one who said it. I'm just the one who had the courage to say it, is sort of the undercurrent. And I think that that's kind of the 6 undercurrent generally, and especially with like 8 having the audacity, because they have the extra gut punch
like that. But it's not like, you know, people they laugh because they're already talking about it, so it's not that big a deal.
We all have dark thoughts.
Yeah, and again, this is like what I said in the Dave Chappelle one, where it's like 6s know, like they're better able at making jokes and social commentary because they are all, if you know what your tribe is thinking because they're orientated towards what the tribe is thinking, and so they're able to like pull from that and create all of these like resonant, hard-hitting jokes. Like they are the funniest type, 6s. I haven't really made any points for 5 over 7 that are like, he seems very certain of himself, outside of even having an 8 fix. Like I think like 6-wing 5s kind of have more of a no fuss, no muss. Here's how it is. They're not trying to get you to like them. I mean, he's like saying it with a smile, but he's not really concerned what you think, Deborah, with your blowout and like and this fucking cheesy schmuck. Like he's just showing up probably because he was told to.
Thoughts sometimes, but you go there in public and you do.
And 6-wing 7s will sort of try to get on the same page a little bit. They might ping back and forth, and he's just sort of sitting there like, is this gonna end yet?
It, even though it's edgy, kind of make it safe in a way.
What is this guy trying to do? Is he trying to be funny? Like, I don't know. I hate this guy. I feel like he's like a failed 6 or something.
Yeah, well, what's going to happen? I'm just talking.
And he's like frozen. He's frozen in this position. I don't even know what this is.
It's not like I'm not doing anything insane. I will tell you, though, I did stand up here 2 shows last night, and I cannot believe New York crowds now.
Why?
It is so like, oh.
They were doing that during that?
Yeah, and here's where he's doing some like 8-7 shit too. It's like, because I mean, I could tell like the 7 thing of like, oh, I'm provocative. Like, I don't know why people have this reaction to me. It's like, you know, I'm just me, honey. And like, he's doing like a version of that here. It's like, oh, like the pearl clutchers. Well, you know.
I remember when I moved here in '94. It was, you remember Alphabet City? You were taking your life in your hands, and it was like junkies and stuff like that. So it was just really like a lot harder than to like even like impress people. And now, I mean, I don't know.
Again, the good old days.
Yeah. Anyway.
You know, they don't even call it Alphabet City anymore. You know that? They call it like the Lower East Side. Things, gentrification, whatever.
Was that offensive to illiterate people?
Anyway,
This town has changed.
F is for family, obviously.
This guy looks like he's possessed. He looks like a ventriloquist dummy. I'm sorry. I don't know why this is annoying me so much. I need to change this video. Okay. Oh yeah, Billy Corgan and Bill Burr finding out they share a father. But it's kind of funny how he's sitting. He's just kind of like, which is more of a 9 pose, but.
What was your relationship with Dad?
It was difficult. It was difficult.
What did he tell you he did for a living?
He was a musician.
Yeah, and Bill Burr's immediately going to like trying to root out the truth, like doing the reactive thing of like trying to sniff out what his daddy's bullshit was.
Traveling, you know, kind of club musician, never got above the clubs.
He played piano, saxophone.
No, just guitar.
Well, in my house.
Oh, sorry.
Are you serious?
Oh.
He told me he couldn't play guitar because his finger.
I wish I had videos of their dad because I'm so curious. I mean, I spent a little while reading a bunch of Billy Corgan's shit about his dad that he wrote on some like internet blog, and it was kind of twisted. It sounds like this guy was like probably some like maybe he was like a 3 or like a a 9 or something. It definitely feels like a 3-9-9-3 stem thing to like have all these secret families.
Fingers were too fat. All right. Well, yeah, it was fucking weird, but you know what's funny though is if we were born during the internet, like he wouldn't. I don't feel like you can get away with that anymore. Like at some point, it did become funny to me that he had multiple families. There was some.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be funny to 6-9-3. Like I think again, this is like his 8-wing-7. It's kind of like finding the entertainment value in the 6 atrocities that his head is hardwired, and like to compare and contrast him to like Alex Jones, for example. And I don't know, maybe Will Burr's the SPSO. I don't know. Is that like Alex Jones is on like some kind of holy mission, but he's 6-wing-7 and 9-wing or 8-wing-9, so he's got like kind of this more like idealistic protector sort of the buddy kind of thing going on, and like Bill Burr's more like doing his own thing, because 8-wing-7 versus 8-wing-9 is like a very different energy. It's like more, yeah, like I said, chaotic kind of Joker, go your own way, sort of like finding the lulls, LOLs.
Thing like wild about that, having to just trying to sustain one family. I'm kind of forgetting we're on a podcast right now. Trying to just sustain one family, actually. I mean, he must have been going, I got a gig on the road, but he's coming home with no fucking money because he's got to go out. Hey, well, at least we broke that cycle, huh?
Here we are.
Here we are. And at least we're not like on some fucking awful network show judging plate spinners or whatever the fuck Howie's career has become.
He's done well, though.
No, you can tell he's self-conscious because he pulled out an award right in the middle of this.
I saw that.
We're on the Howie Mandel show, and he's like roasting Howie while he's like talking about how self-conscious he is.
It kind of looked like he made it too.
He made his own award. Yeah, this is some like 8-7, I think, stuff. He's just roasting. He's just roasting people left and right.
All right, like I don't know what else. You know what I do relate to you is you do seem shut down emotionally.
Well, it's all within.
Which is a huge relief. So you chose music and I went comedy.
Yeah, I think it's worked out better for you than for me.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and he's like Billy Corgan. You can see that he's like 9 fixed because it's just like he's so like he's just sort of like sitting there receiving Bill Burr's energy, like somewhat seemingly unwillingly.
So because I thought your music like you helped people, where I sort of pointed the finger.
Oh yeah, and so like 6s are pointing the finger, but the way he's doing it is again like this 8-7 shit show sort of thing.
For quite some time.
Yes.
Or whatever. This is completely off subject, but I see that camera.
I would love to see them both naked side by side. Oh, I wish I would have said that.
Right there, I saw somebody restore an old camera. That's how I keep the demons.
Okay.
I death scroll on Instagram, and
Do you collect old cameras? Because I do.
No, but I have an appreciation for them.
I have like 100 old cameras, sort of.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, as an image type, that actually is not particularly shocking, I suppose.
I like old
There's
shit.
the genetics again.
There's the genetics, and I would imagine you have a bunch of older guitars.
See, when I came in here the first time, that's what he had on the wall.
Oh yeah.
He had already prepared that before I walked through the door.
Well, that was our
first.
I mean, you can typologically track nostalgia stuff though too. So, 6 influence, sometimes 4 influence, depends on the orientation. Sometimes 7 influence, 9 influence.
Time.
That was our picture.
Actually, I can make an argument for a whole bunch of the types having a nostalgia orientation. Probably not 8 though. Probably not 8. Yeah, that would be the type I would rule out with a nostalgia orientation.
You're not knowing that he was.
And 5, most likely. 5s could be into some weird shit from the past, but it wouldn't be for nostalgia reasons.
Gonna do this to us.
Yes.
You guys got a little more pigment on your side of the family, huh? All right.
You got the better teeth, though, I think.
Well, my dad told us he was a dentist, so he didn't do the whole fucking musician thing. I actually think he was forced into being a dentist by his crazy parents, but I think he wanted to be a musician. So I think at least he was living the life, or pretending to be living the life. I mean, what do you do but laugh? It's so fucked up. Anyway, I feel like
Yeah, I think his orientation towards the whole thing is absurdist, and again, just points for 8-7 versus like I can't remember if we typed Billy Corgan 9-1 or 9-8 in the gut center, but he does not seem to think it's all that funny, and like he definitely has like an emotional like backstory about his dad. As like a 3-4, there's like this whole tangled web related to his dad, and he was trying to like get his dad's approval, and then he like wanted to kind of outdo him. Like there was this sort of 3-ish triangulative competition where he was sort of trying to like do better than his father, even to gain his father's love. Like it was kind of twisted.
I don't want to go any further with this.
And Bill Burr is just kind of like
I think we played along long enough, Howie. Can you come back in and shut off this fucking music?
Yeah, and then you look at like Billy Corgan, it's just like who is this crass piece of shit that I'm related to?
Yeah, you see some of the animals. Some of the animals I see, like I was in the airport the other day, right? I'm sitting there waiting for my flight, just hating my life, and watching this lady. She's eating egg McMuffins, like plural. They just threw like 3 of them right down her throat like a pelican, just like right down her gullet. And when she was done, she wiped her face with the bag.
Yeah, I just think his humor is like, I don't know, kind of social self-prezi to me. It seems social dom, like he's sort of like putting people in these gross little boxes. And he's kind of like, he does turn people into these kind of characters. I mean, Dave Chappelle kind of did it too, but I can see like there's this extra influence of 7 in his type where he's sort of just like the flavor of insults, but I don't really know how to describe that. And he also has a sort of thing that I've noticed with like the combination of like 8 with 3-2 and 6, which is sort of like a cowboy sort of combination. And he kind of has like, even the way he like sort of waltzes around the stage, he sort of has this kind of cowboy thing going on, because it's like the 3-2 Captain America sort of heart center, like hero sort of thing, and then the 6 cowardly, courageous hero, and then 8 wing 7 agent provocateur. So he's sort of like doing all these things at the same time where he's like very likable, but he's also very provocative, and like it's not like just to contrast to like Anthony Jeselnik, who I just did a video of. It's like he's like an agent, he's just fully like dark. Like he's just fully fucking with people and doesn't care. And he's made that his persona, whereas you can feel that like Bill Burr's this isn't a persona. He's like being himself. And but yeah, he doesn't seem like a rejection gut type to me. He doesn't seem like he's not trying to like prove he's kind of the top dog. Like he's not really doing like the 8 stuff of like he's still doing the 6 kind of just like you, but he's just like kind of like a little bit more devious, you know?
With the bag! Not even like a gentleman. Like, no, just do the chorus and yes! She just got a straight razor shave. She's an absolute animal. I saw this other dude, he was so out of shape, he was like trying to itch his back and he couldn't reach it. So he walked up to a support pole that was holding up an entire floor of the airport.
Yeah, and this does seem like some weird like social dom with like triple head. Like he's finding everything super entertaining, even though he's like a 6, and there is probably that like fear churning in the background of like but it's almost like, yeah, he almost like cycles through like amusement and horror, and again it's like how he's like conveying it. So he's like kind of like making some 70 kind of jokes, I guess, ish, but how he's doing it is like through this sort of like relatable content. It's like he's absurdifying relatable content with kind of like wing 5 cynicism, like leaning into kind of like the morbid or darker aspects of humanity, but then he's like turning it into a bit of a like cabaret, you know? So there's this like, I don't know how to describe it, other than I think that's sort of what he's doing just generally. And I'm kind of tired now and I don't feel like doing this typing anymore. So does he look 6? I mean, I feel like he definitely looks like he has a 3 wing 2 fix, because he has this sort of warm eyes, like warm smile, warm eyes, and like often 3 wing 2, there's a sort of like, it's not like drooping eyes, but it's sort of like this caring kind of face. And but I don't know, you can see this sort of sixy well, here he looks like a 6. Oh, and right here he looks like a 6 too. I'm sure he's like imitating a Karen or something, but anyway, yeah, I'm done. Okay, so he's a 683 demolition man, wing 583. Alter ego is final boss. That one needs a little bit of tweaking, I think. And then what is this shadow type? 572, which is not a type. So it's just extra head and extra positivity and absurdity. Which I don't know. I think this makes sense to me. So could he be SPSO potentially? I don't know. Eventually I'll circle back to all of the types that I've ever put on this channel and probably retype a bunch of stuff, but today's not that day.